Hey, this is Julian Jackson and you're watching Dante Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, I told you in my breakdown prediction video regarding the Cotto versus Martinez fight that it was another fight that took place that was very similar to this fight that just took place this weekend. And that was on December 6, 2008. And it was Manny Pacquiao versus Oscar De La Hoya. Once again, before that fight, no one gave Manny Pacquiao a chance to beat Oscar De La Hoya because of De La Hoya's massive size advantage. Larry Merchant and other journalists, they went so far as to basically saying that this fight is a joke because De La Hoya would most likely run right over the little Manny Pacquiao. So going into that fight, Manny Pacquiao was a heavy underdog. Okay? But soon as the fight took place and Manny Pacquiao ran through De La Hoya very easy, then all of a sudden everybody wanted to give Oscar De La Hoya every excuse in the book. Why? Because according to these people, there's no way Oscar De La Hoya would lose to someone as small as Manny Pacquiao unless there was something really wrong with Oscar De La Hoya physically. This Sergio Martinez versus Miguel Cotto fight is pretty much a remake of that Manny Pacquiao versus Oscar De La Hoya story. Cotto comes into this fight as a huge underdog. Almost no one gives him a chance to win this fight. They all believe that Sergio Martinez's size advantage is just too much to overcome. Before I go any further, let me go ahead and say congratulations to Miguel Cotto for putting on a terrific performance. I mean, this was a huge upset for the year 2014. He made history winning this middleweight title, and he did it in dominant fashion. Like I said, a lot of people thought that Miguel Cotto came into this fight being the much smaller opponent. Who would have thought that Miguel Cotto would be so strong that he would be rocking and hurting Sergio Martinez with almost every single punch that he landed. And he was catching Sergio Martinez so easily. Once again, you go back to my my breakdown prediction video. I've been telling you guys for the longest when it comes to Sergio Martinez. Usually when it comes to gifted fighters, really special gifted fighters, they do not get hit over and over and over again with the exact same punch. Okay? Because usually a special gifted fighter, he can adapt, he can adjust. He can say, okay, I got caught with a clean right hand. I got caught with that clean left hook. I'm going to make sure I don't get hit with it again. And then from that point on, they make it very difficult for their opponent to land that punch again. This is not Sergio Martinez, guys. This has never been Sergio Martinez. So, you know, we'll get into the leg excuses, you know, a little further in the video. But what I will say is, regardless of leg excuses or not, Sergio Martinez has been getting nailed with the same punches over and over again since he's been fighting on HBO. This is not something that just started once he started to have these quote-unquote leg issues, okay? Sergio Martinez has always been vulnerable to getting hit with the same punches over and over again. You go back and you watch the Darren Barker fight. You watch the Matthew Macklin fight. And you watch the Martin Murray fight. There was always a pattern of Sergio getting hit with the same punches over and over again. And it's not just a good jab he gets hit with. Sergio Martinez, he gets hit with everything. He gets hit with the jabs. He gets hit with the right hands. He gets hit with the left hooks. All right? I've been telling you guys for the longest that I believe that Sergio Martinez is an extremely watered down version of Roy Jones Jr. Don't get me wrong, he's a good fighter. But the reason why I'm even comparing him to Roy Jones Jr. is, for those of you guys who don't know this already, Sergio Martinez's idol, his favorite fighter, you know, the fighter he looked up to was Roy Jones Jr. So when you know that that was his favorite fighter, and then you see some of the little slick type things that he does in the ring, putting his hands down and so on and so forth, you can tell that comes from his idol, Roy Jones Jr. Unlike Roy Jones Jr., Sergio Martinez had never really had too many flawless, dominant performances that looked anything like a Roy Jones type of fight, which is why I've always believed that this would be a very difficult fight for Sergio Martinez, and Miguel Cotto had a good chance of winning this fight. Every time I talk to someone about this fight, I always said Sergio Martinez had never been in the ring with a short, compact guy that has just as much speed, probably has a better defense than Sergio Martinez, and he can also box better than almost any other opponent that Sergio Martinez has been in the ring with. It is very interesting, once again, how we thought that Sergio Martinez, he was going to have this huge size advantage, and that was going to basically negate any type of natural attributes that Miguel Cotto possesses. But that wasn't the case, because Miguel Cotto, he came in the ring, not only was he a better boxer, had a better defense, was just as quick, if not quicker, than Sergio Martinez, but then we found out that Miguel Cotto was actually stronger than Sergio Martinez as well. Like I said before, every single time Sergio or Miguel Cotto caught Sergio, he was staggering. He was wobbling. It was unbelievable. And that first round was priceless. It actually reminded me of another fight, and that was Tito Trinidad against Fernando Vargas. First round opens up. The last thing you expect is for someone to be getting knocked down in the first minute of the fight. But the Martinez versus Cotto fight, it was more dramatic than Vargas versus Trinidad, because once again Sergio Martinez was the heavy favorite, and he was the one kissing the canvas a couple of times in the first round. I mean, Sergio Martinez, he was only like inches or seconds away from being stopped in that first round. I mean, if the referee wanted to, it wouldn't have been a very popular decision, but if that ref wanted to, he could have actually stopped the fight after Martinez kept falling on the ground. Okay, Martinez was really hurt in that first round. And speaking of the knee injuries, this is the reason why I don't believe you could take credit away from Miguel Cotto and make excuses for Sergio Martinez. Why? Because Miguel Cotto, he was hurting and catching Sergio Martinez in the first 20 seconds of the fight. Sergio Martinez does not have a great defense, and your knees have nothing to do with moving your head. Sergio Martinez, people make it sound almost as if Sergio Martinez, he's been beating Miguel Cotto's left and right his whole career. And now all of a sudden, once he has this leg injury, now he looks totally different and he can't do what he used to do before. Sergio Martinez has never been a dominant defensive fighter. The punches that he got hit with today are the exact same punches that he's been getting hit with since day one. I mean, if someone like Darren Barker and Matthew Macklin can hit Sergio Martinez with the same punches at will, then it shouldn't be considered silly when someone says that they believe that Miguel Cotto can do the same thing, but better. So the point that I'm making is this really had nothing to do with Sergio's knee injuries. Maybe Sergio does have bad knees, but it had nothing to do with the fact that he could not avoid Miguel Cotto's left hooks. He could not avoid Miguel Cotto's lead right hands. I never thought I would be saying this, but this fight played out exactly the way Freddie Roach said the fight would play out. Okay, this may be one of the rare occasions where Miguel Cotto made Freddie Roach look like a prophet tonight. He really did. Because like I told you guys in my prediction breakdown video, usually Freddie Roach just says some promotional type shit. We're going to knock him out. We're going to knock him out in the first round. We're going to knock him out in the third round, so on and so forth. Usually he says something like that. But this time, Freddie Roach was really exposing a lot of flaws that Sergio Martinez had when he was talking about the reason why his charge, Miguel Cotto, is going to win this fight. He talked about Sergio Martinez having a terrible, terrible defense. He talked about Sergio Martinez putting his hands down and leaving himself open and saying that Sergio wouldn't be able to do that against Miguel Cotto. And he was right. This had nothing to do with Sergio Martinez's knee injuries. Sergio Martinez had never been in the ring with a guy, one more time, that was just as quick as he was, had a better defense than he did, and knew how to box probably better than he does. As funny as it sounds, Sergio Martinez is somewhat of a one-dimensional fighter. He's kind of one-dimensional. I understand he moves around and, he creates an illusion of him being this masterful boxer, but really, all Sergio is doing is trying to land his favorite combination, 1-2. That's it. The 1-2. The 1-2. And when he's not just throwing a 1-2, he's putting his hands down and he's trying to bait you into attacking first so then he could counter you. But that's pretty much all he has is the 1-2. Sergio Martinez is not an inside fighter. I told you guys that if Miguel Cotto gets on the inside, all Martinez is going to do is tie up. That's exactly what he did. But Sergio Martinez could not get away from the hooks that continue to land over and over again. If there were times in this fight where Sergio Martinez was just completely dominating the fight, and then all of a sudden you could just tell he just stops fighting and you're wondering what happened. He was just dominating. Sergio was really dominating. If it was a situation like that, then I might say, okay, the knees might have played a role in this loss, okay, for Sergio Martinez. But Sergio Martinez was outgunned from round 1 all the way into the 9th round where Sergio Martinez threw in the towel on his own self, okay? It was a dominant performance by Miguel Cotto. This wasn't, usually we've seen fighters fight with injury. We've seen Arturo Gatti fighting with a broken hand and still making the fight competitive. Matter of fact, I think he won that fight against Mickey Ward. We've seen Floyd Mayweather injure his shoulder when he was fighting against Carlos Hernandez, and we've seen he adjusted. We didn't see Floyd Mayweather all of a sudden getting hit with a million punches just because he's fighting with one hand now. If you got bad knees, you keep your hands up. You keep your hands up high and you block those damn left hooks. You catch those damn right hands. That has nothing to do with Sergio Martinez's knees. And quite frankly, the way this fight looked, I'll tell you right now, Sergio Martinez would have always struggled against a Miguel Cotto type of opponent. He would have always struggled against a lot of smart fighters. You watch that performance and you wonder, how would Sergio Martinez have done against Gennady Golovkin? How would he have done against even Peter Quillin? I've been saying for the longest, I didn't even think that Sergio Martinez could beat Curtis Stevens. And this is the reason why the last time I made my pound for pound top 10 list, I didn't even have Sergio Martinez in that list because I truly believe that he was an overrated fighter. I truly believe that. And I know a lot of Sergio Martinez fans, you're going to get your feelings hurt hearing me say that. But, I think it was proven tonight because someone like Miguel Cotto, who was a heavy underdog, okay, this fight wasn't a 50-50 fight, at least not on paper. The odds did not suggest that this was a 50-50 fight. Sergio Martinez was supposed to blow out this blown up welterweight, blown up junior middleweight, okay? And he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it because Sergio had never fought a guy with the skill set that Miguel Cotto has. And Miguel Cotto wasn't even a legitimate junior middleweight, let alone a middleweight. So that tells you how Sergio would have did against some of the top-notch middleweights. Anyway, congratulations to Miguel Cotto. There are a lot of different fights that could be made. Bob Arum is talking about he's pondering making a Bradley versus Cotto fight, which would be good, versus Canelo, Mayweather rematch. All of those fights will be good. Let's see what happens from this point on. I'm on to the next one, guys.